Chaika and Bertie enjoying the spring sunshine, the lambs bleating in the field next door. It is springtime. Come along here past that Mahonia, which we featured last time. Still doing well. But this is what I want to show you. First of all, this plant here, which is covered in its white flowers, which are scented. This is a Beliophyllum. Or the so-called white forsythia, nothing to do with forsythias. But it has all these scented white flowers on the bare stems in February and March. Perhaps rather more excitingly, behind it is quite a young plant of this very spiny plant from coastal mountains of Chile called Latua pubiflora. This is the first time it's flowered, which is very exciting. This is a member of the deadly nightshade family, Solanum, and it's called the death plant. Latua is something that causes death in the Mapuche Indian language. Anyway, as long as you don't eat it, you're all right. Very sharp spines in the more mature stems. But anyway, it's an exciting thing to have a first flowering. Walking past the pond, I want to take you to this amazing shrub with its dangling catkins. This is a Stachyurus, and I think one of the best performing ones for the spring. The catkins are made up of individually quite large flowers, but en masse they make a fantastic effect. In the summer, the leaves are a very clean variegation of white and green. This is a Stachyurus magpie. Coming down to our towards our wonderful new steps up over the wall, there is a sort of faint, spicy, sweety scent in the air, and I think it's coming from this shrub here. This is Lindera obtusiloba, with this tiny little sort of stamenoid flowers. Winter flowering. It's got the most wonderful foliage and autumn colour later on. Now here's a sight to gladden the heart, I always think. These lovely cyclaminous daffodils. They are really rather funny, I think. They're sort of humorous, because if you look at them, I always think they look as if they're facing into a gale, their ears pinned back. Put a smile on the face, really, they do. I think we're approaching the time when I'll need to do some pruning on this lovely Acer Sangakaku, so that next year we get the nice new red stems. They've got a chance to grow over the summer season for next winter. So here we go. Well, here's the pile of chopped up and rather colourful stems, I think you'll agree. And here's the end result of the tree itself, chopped back, ready to produce its new growth in the spring. As a gardener, I see this great big area where the enormous oak tree used to cover, about the size of somebody's normal garden, really, I would say. Anyway, here's all this bare area. So, couldn't resist it. I had to plant a tree in the corner. These are the funny little hoop petticoat daffodils. I had to mark them with stakes in case they got damaged. But here is the aforementioned tree. Well, it's more of a shrubby tree. It's an elm and a Japanese variety, Ulmus parvifolia, small-leafed elm, in a variety called Seiju, which is more like a shrub. And here at the base you begin to see one of the characteristics of it, and that's this lovely bark on the stems. Anyway, I've parked it right on the corner, so there's still this large area to consider as to what we're going to do. And I've been burning a bonfire in it, and I've come almost to the end of the debris that I've had to burn. Okay, Bertie, I'm just going to show everybody this amazing magnolia. Magnolias grow tall and flower at the top of the tree, which is really a bit useless. This is Magnolia Mordii, which has been flowering for about 4 weeks, and the scent from the flowers is wonderful, like a gardenia, I would say. At least when you're standing under it or near it, you get a waft, and it looks great against the blue sky. When I said last time it's good to put these reddish, orangish witch hazels where they can get the low sun. And here's a case in point. Look how it's being lit up by the sun. This is Aphrodite. In the shade with other plants you wouldn't really see it very well, but here it stands out. Now come with me. I want to show you this delightful small berry double daffodil. This dates from the early 1600s, and we know that because the Bishop of Eichstätt in Germany was a very keen botanist, and he created a botanical garden around the palace. And he employed botanical artists to draw all the plants, and this was one of them. It's commonly known as Queen Anne's double daffodil, but the Queen Anne in question was Anne of Austria, wife of Louis XIII of France, mother of the famous Sun King. Now, some people don't like orchidbas. No, they have an aversion to them. But luckily, I'm not of their number. And I have lots of orchidbas in this garden. Intentionally planted and also seedlings. This one is always absolutely full of its berries, which the birds don't seem to touch. And it's called Rosanni. Orchidba Rosanni. It's self-fertile. It produces its berries without the aid of a gentleman friend, but it does help if there are any gentleman friends about in the garden. Of course there are. Here is an example, however, of what happens when gentleman friends of a different hue become involved, and you get this row of seedlings around Rosanni's skirts, and some of them are really very dramatic foliage plants in their own right. And whether this is just juvenile or whether it's going to develop into a rather large foliaged orchidba, I'm not entirely sure. We await developments. If pink is your colour for your Barbie themed garden, then this is the plant for you. If you've got an acid soil, that is. This is Rhododendron Anabalzifen, and my goodness me, pink is definitely the word. I'm going to show you this wonderful plant. Very elegant. Reached about 10 feet tall. This is an Elysium Simonsii. Beautiful lustrous evergreen foliage and these scented double flowers in groups. Very elegant shrub. Now, I was very lucky to be given a seedling of a sorbus, a white beam from China, from a tree in the Kunming Botanic Garden. The tree was unlabeled, and so it's a bit of a mystery, but look at the new growth. A wonderful silvery sheen on these bronze new leaves, and a white stem. Of course, the leaves go a dark green in the summer, but they still have a gloss to them, and these furrowed surfaces with all those veins.